Well, good morning. Good morning. It is Friday morning, of course. 7:45 in the morning. I am just leaving the Rimrock yard with my second load, heading down to Northwest Regional Landfill in Phoenix. Got a little different camera set up out on the side of the trailer, facing forward, looking at the truck. So we'll see how that looks. Facing the traffic in front of us instead of typically looking backwards at the trailer. Hopefully it'll stay on there. We're trying to pick up a little speed here. It's a pull onto the freeway and it's an uphill section, so we always go slow for about 2 miles. Excuse me, trying to get this thing up to speed. This load feels heavier than my last one. Last load was total was about 76,000 pounds, and this one feels like it's pushing the peak at 80. That's all right. Been a nice morning so far, but it's hot. It's going to be a real hot one today down there. By midday, it'll be 112, 115 probably down in Phoenix. It's been getting up over 100 up here, and we're 3,000, 3,500 feet higher in elevation than they are. Now we're starting to get up some speed. Oh, get our cruise control set. Then we don't have to worry about it. For those of you who don't know, Rimrock, we're about almost smack dead in the middle of Arizona. Verde Valley, there's Cottonwood, Camp Verde, Sedona, Clarkdale, Jerome, all those little towns are right around here. I am coming up on the road. It's called Middle Verde Road, which goes into Camp Verde, and that's the cutoff where the Cliff Castle Casino is. And it's about a 100-mile haul down to the landfill. So far this morning, it's been really nice. Almost no traffic on the first run because we leave so early. I was on the road at 3:20 this morning, and it was really, really nice. I love this time of year. Even though it gets really hot in the daytime, it's very, very nice at night. It's warm, stays warm all night. So when I come in the morning to get the truck ready, it's nice, it's comfortable, it's not cold. I don't have to worry about wearing a jacket or a hoodie or something. You have to watch out for the skunks. There was a couple of skunks out at the yard this morning, up there picking through the trash. They surprised me while I was walking up to the truck. They popped out from behind a little concrete wall, and they get the right of way, and I think they know it. Man, I could not backpedal fast enough to get away from those two. Last thing I want to do is get sprayed by a skunk. The gift that keeps on giving, it just laughs with you. Well, we're almost to Camp Verde right here. We'll be starting up the big hill, Copper Canyon, here in just a minute. Just a long climb, long slow climb when you're heavy. we'll probably be doing 35 to 40 miles an hour most of the way, and then right at the top is when it gets the most steep. End up doing about 25, something like that with this truck. Some of the other trucks that we have are, I don't know if it's their engine's not quite as big or if they're just geared differently, but they end up down in the about 15 to 19 miles an hour up at the top. Once we get out on the highway, these trucks are all governed at 70 to 72 miles an hour. And they'll go over that by a couple of miles an hour if you're going downhill or something, but then it lets off on the throttle and it uses the Jake brake to slow it back down. Cruise control works pretty well with them. Switching into manual mode right here. We're going to start slowing down. We need to downshift a little bit. And it's easier if I do it than if I wait for the truck to do it. The truck sometimes has a hard time deciding what gear it wants to be in going up this hill. When I get down to about 1200 RPMs or so is when I downshift. Then that'll pick it back up to about 1450, somewhere in there. Going 55 miles an hour now. Gonna definitely be a lot of cars passing us here. Down to 1400 RPMs. 1300, it's slowing down. I can hear it slowing down. That's about 12 right there. I'm gonna downshift into 10th gear. It's interesting driving the same route, all 3 runs every day. It can get a little bit monotonous, but it's also, you learn the road really well. You know where every pothole and every bump is and what to avoid. And then it really stands out if there's something different going on. Construction or something in the road that's not supposed to be there. Or accidents, anything like that. You can spot it quite a bit further away, I think, than people that aren't used to this road. And there's a lot of people that drive this road far more than I do. Time to downshift again. 9th gear. The other guys that work for this same company, they drive every day. I only drive on Fridays. So they're driving every single day, 2 or 3 trips on this road. That is a lot of miles on this road. Upshift back into 10th gear. Road's flattened out just a little bit. Around the next couple of corners, it'll start climbing again. Long line of cars back there. This truck took quite a while to pass me, so everybody's coming up the hill at 60, 70 miles an hour, and then all of a sudden they get behind this guy that's going 45. most part, traffic's behaving itself today, this morning. Even when there's a long line, people are mostly being patient and waiting until things open up. Every now and then you'll get one person that just cannot stand it, and they're back and forth changing lanes, and they create far more of a problem than they realize. And they don't gain anything by doing it. "39 miles an hour. We are just flying up this hill. On the lane, the northbound lane, which is down below us over there on the left, there's a runaway truck ramp on that side for the guys coming down the hill. If you're coming down that hill heavy, it's a long, steep grade, and if your truck has a problem, if you have a brake problem, an equipment failure, or if you just don't drive it properly, let your brakes get heated up, you can be in serious trouble. And it doesn't get used a lot, but it gets used maybe once every 2 or 3 months. Somebody has to take the runaway ramp. Upshift again right here just for a minute. A few seconds. And downshift again. 10th gear. Further up the road here, they widened it out, put in 3 lanes to try to help where it gets really steep, so that all the trucks don't just end up for miles long in this right lane. Or when we try to pass another truck, we're not holding up everybody behind us. This hill, which is actually almost a worse hill than the one coming up out of Black Canyon, this one doesn't have lane restrictions for the truck until you get way to the top of the hill up here. When it turns into 3 lanes, then they restrict you down. Trucks have to stay in the right 2 lanes. On Black Canyon, it's 2 lanes all the way up, and they start the restriction clear at the bottom, and trucks over a certain weight have to stay in the right-hand lane all the way up. And that really turns into a pain in the neck, because you get behind somebody like this, and if you're running empty and you can move it along up that hill, you're just stuck back there for no reason. Downshift again, and now we're in 9th gear. Turns into 3 lanes just around this corner. It makes a difference being able to have room to get around somebody, because once you lose your momentum in a truck this heavy, it takes miles and miles to get it back, to pick up speed again. So even if we only pass this guy at 1 or 2 miles an hour faster, it's still better for us than having to slow down and match his speed. Bottled water. That's a water truck. Stay in this middle lane right here just in case this other truck slows down. Where it's getting real steep right here. This is about the steepest part of the climb. Like he and I are just going to be same speed all the way up the hill. a cement mixer truck coming behind me. Now right here when we get to this trucks right 2 lanes only sign, the road starts to level out a little bit. We'll start picking up speed again. Upshifting to 10th gear again. Start picking up speed. And then the 3 lanes are going to end up here in about a 1/4 of a mile. The right lane ends. Eleventh gear. And we're off. There's a GPS officer, state trooper in the middle of the road. And now we're back in 12th gear and ready to cruise. Got one vehicle going to pass me right here, then I'll get around this truck. About to the turn off to Prescott over here, which goes in through Dewey and Humboldt. There's another turn that goes over to Prescott. A few more miles down the road, a place called Cordis Junction also cuts over that way. This is probably a good enough spot to end the video, and I will catch you later.